Well, welcome one, welcome all, and here on your afternoon channel, live with Maponga J, broadcasting from Johannesburg. After having been to Kenya for some few days, I'm happy and excited to be back here with you again on your African channel, where we're discussing African politics, African science, African medicine, African politics, economics, and everything else between. The whole idea is to get us as African people beginning to have a meaningful conversation with ourselves, discussing our own politics, our own science, our own fashion, and our own religion, spirituality, our own architectural work, our own music and art, and everything else between. The whole idea is to get us as Africans beginning to talk. And while I was in Kenya for the past few days, I woke up to discover that I had been banned and blocked off my own page, my original main page where I usually work from. For the next 1 month, I've been put on quarantine. So I had to look for one of my old pages, which I was no longer working, and trying to keep the fire burning. But it looks like the institutions are not happy. I think I passed some few comments in the line of the white community must apologize to the black community, and over and above that also my strong position that I've always maintained on this white Jesus story. And I think maybe that some people, actually not maybe, some people on our pages, black people I should believe, on our own pages, go ahead and send these messages to the powers that be who control these media spaces, and as a result we have been blocked. I've been blocked. Yes, maybe it's not we have been blocked from the 3-4 other pages that I usually work from, to pass any comments of such a nature or send any information of such a nature. It is with that in mind, therefore, that I want to challenge any technical people in our hands, in our midst, who know how to work around these projects and IT issues, that maybe it's high time we start organizing our own African platform, our own maybe Ubuntu Facebook page, our own Ubuntu app, where Africans can begin to come together, where we can share our own information without embarrassment and fear. Because these platforms that we have been enjoying for some time, they still have a strong hand and a strong control around them, and we are not able to express ourselves the exact way we would want to express ourselves. So yes, be warned that maybe for the next 1 month I'll be working from here and the other Vudzijena page, I think, which is near to this one, as we are again trying to mop up this thing. Now this brings me to the real issue that I've been sharing with you guys for the past few weeks, if you remember, when I was saying I need to start talking to us, that we move our audience from the Facebook page, maybe we'll move you into a YouTube page, or we can start opening other forms of communication, because these Facebooks and Twitters and Instagrams have been bought by Mark Zuckerberg, and we don't have as much freedom to really express ourselves as we need to be. So please look for me again on my YouTube accounts and etc. I think ultimately within the next couple of months I might actually be totally banned from these Facebook pages. So the question is, where are you going to find me again? So start getting yourself familiar to all my platforms, all my handles, whether it is my Facebook page, my Twitter account, my YouTube account. And if you are smart enough, please even go further, harvest all the information that I have done, try and put it on the side. I don't know for how long we can enjoy this luxury of having access to these social platforms, but a few shots have been shot in the air already, and I know exactly what that means. It may mean that we are treading on thin ice, and we can actually might as well be getting ready for, we are now 100 species. Every movement we are doing, everything we are saying is now being critiqued and is being watched and observed. Without necessarily being an alarmist, I received 2 or 3 other inboxes from some white counterparts who told me that I'm now a threat to human civilization and stuff like that. I'm not worth to be living, and I should be sent back to where my mother found me and stuff like that. And these are, from as far as I'm concerned, if ever Facebook was serious, these are the people whom they must be banning from the Facebook pages, because they're the people who are threatening some of us, who are threatening even our lives. And these people are still walking scot-free on the same platforms. So I don't have to try and convince you as to who owns these platforms. And we have seen in the past few days, of course, the crimes that have happened in the US. We don't want to condone anything, and anyone who kills anyone, whether it is black or white, we stand with the sanctity of life. that we need to start protecting each other. And any human being who wakes up in the morning with an intention of killing the other, whether it be for religious reasons, whether it be for political reasons, or whether it is for racial reasons, these are the people who don't deserve to become part of human civilization. Because how can you have a country that sits down to be manufacturing weapons to kill other people? Countries that sit around manufacturing chemicals to kill other nations. Companies that sit around the world planning how to destroy other races, how to overcome other governments, how to impose yourself over other people's civilizations. And how can we call this a democratic situation whereby the powerful and those that have financial and military muscle are the ones who are actually bulldozing and running around the world and terrorizing everybody else? And I don't think that it is worth glorifying civilization as far as being civilized if it means that you're collecting weapons and you're running around the world and destroying other people, and then you say you are civilized and you're democratic. I stand where I stand, and I stand very strong to condemn all acts of such a nature around the world. If there is any country that is collecting weapons, any country that is collecting chemicals, any country that is paying intelligences to infiltrate other people's economies, other people's political parties, other people's religious affairs, and in the midst of that, you want to think that you are going to liberate the whole world, such acts must be condemned of the highest order. And right now where we are sitting with pockets of war around the world. DRC is still not liberated. Palestinians are still not liberated. Afghanistan is still not liberated. Zimbabwe is still not liberated. South Africa is still not liberated. Most, if not all of Africa, is still languishing in oppression. We have just fine-tuned the democratic system and created a capitalistic democratic system, but still it's the same monster as far as I'm concerned. We've just changed foxes with hyenas, with African leaders sitting in these offices, continuing with the agenda of the Westerner, the agenda of the colonizer, the agenda of the religious leader, the agenda of putting the African people as second-class citizens, oppressing and making sure that the Africans, in terms of the hierarchy of races, they never rise above their true and their original glory. We sit around the world hearing people discussing African problems in glass houses without the Africans themselves being involved in these conversations. How can an African person ever be free? We are going to continue to make noise. We are going to continue to talk. We are going to continue to be sharing information that African child needs to be liberated. And our liberation will come not from the West. Our liberation must come from ourselves. And I want to tell you on your faces, all of you, our greatest enemy of our liberation are not white people, are not Indian people, are not Chinese people. Some of the worst enemies that we have as Africans are our own African people. Our own African people. Sellouts. Who here sitting around in the name of religion, in the name of a few dollars and few pounds, a few euros that they have made. They think and they want to protect the system. So our enemies are actually from within our ranks. It makes the word very true that was spoken by one of the black American guys, that while you are fighting the white supremacist as an African, be very careful, because your own brothers and your own sisters are our greatest enemies. Look around our African politics. All our fellow black people are the ones now putting on suits, running around the governments, running around parliaments, 16 cars in front, 16 cars at the back, to be protected from who? If the people are the one who elected you into power, what are you afraid of? Look around our own religions. Our own churches, for example, are now being fully run by black people. But why are black people enforcing a white agenda? Why are we oppressing each other as black people? I mean, I was in Kenya the other day, one of our churches there, people are boxing each other right in church, trying to protect a system that we don't own. And all these things are being done in the name of the Lord, in the name of democracy, in the name of development, in the name of progress. But what progress can we be talking about when, as Africans, we have not yet fully been liberated in terms of the quality of our thinking? I sit around today and I'm telling you on your faces, I have been banned on the very same platforms of democratic systems. Why? For saying the very same things that I'm saying. And that's supposed to be democracy, where you're supposed to be threatened and you're supposed to be gagged. You're supposed to be told to shut up and sit on your own corner. I have not threatened anybody in terms of their livelihood. I am fighting against the people who are lying, politicians who are lying, economists who are lying, religious leaders who are lying. And I will not sit here and watch them for the rest of my life and be comfortable that something good is happening. If it is rubbish, it is rubbish. Whether it's a white man, a Chinaman, or an Indian man who is doing it, we do not have to put up with trash because we're black people, and all we do is to accept gifts as they come to us as black people. Sit around today slightly sad, but I want to challenge you. I don't want to talk too much. I want to challenge you and say, please try and find me on all the platforms that you can find me, as they've started cutting off and clipping off my wings on other platforms. So today I just thought I'd come here and then announce that the main page has been suspended and closed for the next 1 month. I'll work from here and the other Vudzijena page that is just next door to this one, and then we can try and get the fires burning again. But please register with my YouTube pages, and if you are smart enough, start organizing and designing our own Facebook, Ubuntu Facebook platform, where we can move our African people to those platforms, and so that we can also have a space where as Africans we can express ourselves fully as Africans without necessarily being worried about being managed. Yes, your driver here, Maponga J, on your afternoon drive, broadcasting live from South Africa on your African channel, where we're discussing African politics, African science, African medicine, witchcraft, art and religion and everything else between. But let's get Africa talking and hear from you, the farmers of thought, the watcher from the future, living in the present with solutions from the past. Good afternoon to you all.